Hi, ladies. I'm Brianna Michelle, holistic nutrition coach for well over a decade. And I am super excited that you landed here with me today. We have so much great stuff to cover, but I only have 20 to 30 minutes. So we are going to talk fast, and then I'll make this slide deck available for you after for download, as well as you should have received a PDF that sort of gave some tips. It gave a wellness checker. And I would love for you to really make the most out of this and leave here today with actionable items so you can start feeling better, performing more optimally. And if you have excess weight to lose, guess what? The side effect is that weight starts to melt off, and it's just the most motivating and rewarding thing. So let's hop in to why we're here and why the heck are you even listening to me? So as I mentioned, I'm a holistic nutrition coach for the last 14 plus years. Well, for the last 11 years, I've been basically I call myself a walking asterisk, where if you see a commercial that says combine with diet and exercise, and that person is on camera going, I lost 30 pounds, insert the product name. I'm typically the person that goes and finds the people. I do all their nutrition. I structure their training. I make sure they're using the product, and then I get them incredible results, obviously with their hard work and follow through, in a short amount of time. Typically, I have about 8 weeks. If I'm super lucky, I get them for 12. So because of that, I've done over 45 commercials. Well over 600 people have been participants in those commercial programs. But because of that, I've been able to develop systems and tweaks and tips and structure nutrition so that it's extremely effective, but I don't diet people skinny. And that's what I want you to walk away from here today with. If your goal is weight loss, it should not be to restrict and deplete yourself and be skinny for a short amount of time. What we want is to start nourishing ourselves lean. We want to respect our body by what we're putting in it, how we're fueling it, and the weight loss comes when we give ourselves that respect. So health, fitness have been my life forever, and my goal is to inspire you all to change some facet of your well-being. I heard a beautiful saying once, and it was, if the pain of change is greater than the pain that you're currently experiencing of staying the same, then there is no change that happens. So you have to look at the pain that you are experiencing now. Is that enough of a motivator? It doesn't have to be physical pain. It can be emotional pain. Is that enough of a motivator for you to follow through and make changes and experience the growing pains, in a sense, or the pain of changing? So that's what I want you to keep top of mind while we go through this. So I'm a mom of two. I'm busy. I'm an entrepreneur. I own a couple of businesses. So everything that I do has that in mind, that you guys are not here and able to devote 24/7 to living well. And so we have to have this balance. So I've developed this system called Good, Better, Best. And it's the idea that some days we just have access and we're just as motivated to do good, which is typically better than the average American who is very obese, very sedentary. So we're doing good. But then some days we're motivated to do better, and the more knowledge we have, the better we can do. And then other days we have access to certain things, they align with our goals, we are super on it, and we do our best. And so having a good, better, best mentality allows us this grace of not having to be perfect. So we don't fall victim to I messed up, I blew everything, and now I have to start over, but I'm not motivated to do it. I'll do it again in a couple of Mondays from now. So we want to sidestep that and just say, in this moment, can I do good, better, or best with what I am given? And that's how we're going to approach some other things. So just to let you know, I'm not full of BS here. These are just some of the ladies, a very small fraction of the successful weight loss clients that have been through both private programs and on-camera testimonial programs for fitness products. So you can see a lot of this excess gut, this waste, this hourglass figure that we so desire, it isn't come from just calorie restriction. It comes from healing a gut and decreasing inflammation. And those are two of the biggest things that we're going to focus on today. Yes, I talk fast. So hopefully you are keeping up. I hope you have pen and paper. And again, I'll make this accessible at the end. So we want to self-evaluate, and we won't take time to pause and do that here because I really want you to reflect. It's a 2-page PDF where you're going to go through and evaluate everything from your sleep, energy, midday crashes, brain fog, menstrual, bathroom habits, all that good stuff, right? How are we functioning as healthy human beings? So you'll answer that honestly, and it's going to give you a great picture of some of the things that you really need to start focusing on and things that need to be changed. Because sometimes when things are chopped up and we don't look at it as this global picture, we don't realize how much our health is maybe in danger. So that's what that evaluation is going to do. Then we're going to talk real quickly about gut health because it is imperative to everything, and I'll show you how and why. Inflammation and gut health are two of the biggest culprits for keeping you physique-wise from where you want to be. And then excess sugar leads into inflammation and unhealthy gut. And then good, better, best, we'll touch on that if we have time. Okay, so this is the evaluation, and I would like for you can take that out if you want, but I would encourage you to do that after this presentation if you didn't do it before. But you are going to take an honest look and circle all these symptoms, right? If you have more than 2 or 3 symptoms, we need to start addressing it. Even if you have 1 symptom, it's not normal, right? So it might feel normal to you, maybe not sleeping, maybe 3 cups of coffee, maybe going to the bathroom once a week is normal to you, but it's not normal for how a healthy, optimally functioning human should be. So why is gut health so important? So we know that we all have hectic schedules and we all have things we want to accomplish and tons of stress. Some of it's bad stress, some of it's financial and job loss and career moves, and some of it is really good stress. Maybe we have a wedding, maybe we're going to have a baby soon. And so all these stressors, though, are dinging our health, whether they're good or bad. Then on top of that, we sit down to eat and we have a plethora of industrialized foods. This is factory raised animals for meat that are pumped through hormones and antibiotics and fed grains and corn and soy and all the things those animals were never supposed to eat. And then they're put into our body. Then we have frankenfoods, what I call these horrible foods that kind of identify as a food. They're marketed as a food, but the ingredient list is so long and unrecognizable and chemically laden, they're not really foods. Then even when we try to eat well, we're doing our fruits and our veggies, even those crops aren't the same quality anymore because there is over farming and we don't rotate our crops. So we deplete the nutrients out of the soil. So we're getting a lesser quality, less nutrient dense fruit and vegetable. And then there's chemicals and phytoestrogens. They're in everything and on everything, from fragrances to candles, deodorants, shampoos. I mean, you name it. We are inundated with chemicals, and it's causing our hormones to be completely out of whack. It's bogging down our liver. And so these systems need our support. There's overabundance of plastics. There's constant stimulation from blue light, Wi-Fi, social media, text, emails. I mean, even right now, as we're focused on our health in this talk, we're sitting in front of computer screens. And that's unnatural for us as humans. It's not good for our eyes. It's not good for our circadian rhythm. And, we're inside so much more, and we've stepped largely out of nature, and we belong in tune with nature and the earth, and we're just so cut off from that these days. And then couple all of this with the overuse of medications and antibiotics and stimulants like caffeine and depressants like alcohol, and our gut, liver, adrenals, everything is just screaming, please stop, please help. And it's showing you in the form of skin issues, acid reflux, bloating, screwed up menstrual periods. I mean, there's so many different ways that your body is saying, help me. So let's do that, right? Okay, it all starts in the gut, as I started to say. Our gut is absolutely, and we know this with science, is absolutely impacted or absolutely triggers how our brain health is. So it affects everything from mood, memory, clarity, anxiety, depression, ADD, ADHD. If there are mamas out there and your kids are suffering with these mood disorders and ADHD, I urge you to tune in to this part because so much of it can be changed. And this goes for us adults too, but it breaks my heart when I see kids because kids don't have the ability to go and educate themselves on this, but you do. So it can be what you are putting in and what we're not putting in enough of that are impacting all of these things. It creates autoimmune disorders. Our good gut bugs determine how we use our calories and how our healthy weight is maintained. It decides our nutrient absorption and how we utilize those nutrients, our skin health, the amount of inflammation we have in our whole body. It is largely 70 to 80% housing our immune system, which is really important, especially with everything going on these days. And then it also impacts our sugar cravings. The unhealthy bugs in your gut can only stay alive if you feed them sugar, just as the good bugs can only stay alive when you feed them fiber, the prebiotics. So they have this battle. And the bad bugs are really, really smart because they know they're going to die off unless you feed them sugar. So what do? Send signals to your brain with like, hey, I really love sugar. Hey, give me a little bit of that. Oh, you gave me some and now I want more and more and more. You've probably experienced this, right? The more you get it, the more you want it. So you've probably heard this term leaky gut, but what does it really mean? If you will picture Swiss cheese, that is essentially what ends up happening to your gut lining and your intestinal tract. It becomes punctured by all these inflammatory foods and invaders. And those particles that you're taking in from your food and beverages now of undigested food and waste, pathogens, bacteria, they now are able to seep through your compromised lining. They get into your bloodstream and they cause systemic inflammation and they can reach your brain. Remember the ADHD and the mood and anxiety? That's how it happens. Joint pain, all of that is related really to your gut. So what do we do? All of this is great information, but if we can't take action, it means nothing. So there are two phases. There are the add-in phase, the nutrients that we need for healing, and then there's the removing of harmful substances so that we don't keep hitting ourselves. You don't go out and get hit by a baseball bat, come back and ice it and go, okay, my bruise is starting to go away. Let me go get hit with a baseball bat again. No, you stop getting hit with the baseball bat so that you don't have to keep coming in and icing yourself, right? That's a little bit extreme, but that's essentially what we are doing when we put in these gnarly foods. So the add-ins, one of the most beautiful, nourishing things that you could add in tonight would be bone broth. Organic, grass-fed, if possible, bone broth. It has tons of amino acids. It has precursors for collagen production, precursors for glutathione, which is our master antioxidant. And it really starts to heal and seal up that permeable gut. So that's really, really crucial. You could drink that every day. In fact, I have a 2-year-old that I've had her on it since she was 6 months old, and she has been able to heal herself from some of her food allergies. So another great combination is supplementing with zinc. We know that's great for our immune system, but zinc with zinc carnosine supports the integrity of both the mucosal lining and the GI lining tissue. So we want, again, to do this healing. Then taking a broad spectrum digestive enzyme. I know I'm going quickly, so I hope you're keeping up. But enzymes. So if any of you are 80s babies like me, we had the game Pac-Man, where so Pac-Man went by and he chewed up things, and that's how he won. Well, every time we eat food, we have to create digestive enzymes to then go and eat this food, unlock the nutrients, and then our body can use it. But sometimes you run into issues because we can't create enough of them. For instance, lactose intolerant. You're not creating enough lactase to break down lactose, the milk sugar. So same thing if you get really bloated with certain vegetables, if you have trouble digesting meats, dairy. So taking a broad spectrum digestive enzyme capsule with your meals or right before meals helps to be Pac-Man and go and unlock that nutrition for you. So that's a really great place to start for gut health. And then quality probiotics. I don't just mean go to your over-the-counter pharmacy or Walmart and get something cheap off the shelf that you don't know what it is. I mean, truly investing in a bifidobacteria probiotic, one that is stored in your fridge and kept in your fridge or the store, or a soil-based probiotics that we're now getting the bacteria we were meant to originally get from the soil, is a great way to repopulate your gut, because every day we're hit with things that are stripping away our good bacteria. So in continuing with add-ins, Here's what I love. We all heard of apple cider vinegar, but coconut vinegar can actually be even more beneficial. And it comes with, they call it the mother, where you see if you ever drink kombucha, there's a kind of a chain or like a stringy substance in there. That is good bacteria for your gut. And so coconut vinegar and apple cider vinegar help in aiding in digesting our food and creating the necessary stomach acid that we need. And there's a ton of other detox and cleansing benefits. So I love taking shots of that in the morning or taking it with a meal that you know you're going to have to digest a protein, especially like a red meat. It can help with that. Now, we can also add in a minimum of 2 to 3 cups of leafy and dark greens per day, other vibrant vegetables, cruciferous vegetables like broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts. Those are all really good for packing us with phytonutrients, the enzymes we need, tons of compounds that we can't even get into, but it goes way beyond, hey, just eat some vegetables. They're extremely healing, very anti-aging, huge in antioxidants. So I cannot stress enough. Don't just focus on protein, fat, and carbs, especially when you're losing weight. You need the veggies. So collagen protein is really gaining steam. You've probably heard of it by now, but it's fantastic for helping heal the gut, very much in line with the bone broth. It also helps skin, hair, nails, helps keep you satiated and things like that. You want to look for an actual powder, not the capsules, because you'll never get enough quantity in the capsules to do any benefit, with types 1 through 5. And I have a post on briannamichelle.com on my blog about what those types do. Now, we need quality animal products. So I'm sorry if you're vegetarian. It's just not what I like to preach, because we do need a lot of nutrients that come from quality animals. So, and I realize that they're expensive. So if we can minimize or moderate our protein amounts, but make them better quality, that is ideal. And then you volumize your food with the vegetables so you feel full and satiated. But we want grass-fed meat, wild-caught fish, and seafood, pasture-raised whole eggs. Please eat the yolk, not just the whites. There's so much benefit in the yolk. Now, fermented foods like kimchi, kombucha. I like water kefir as opposed to yogurt kefirs, because yogurt kefirs, they tend to put tons of sugar in them. And then people with dairy intolerances, it becomes a problem. And then sauerkraut. Buy organic produce when you can. If you can't buy everything organic, try to choose from the Clean 15 list for the things that you don't buy organic. And then you can also use a baking soda or powdered activated charcoal, where you can soak and scrub your produce and help eliminate the pathogens and the herbicides and stuff on there. Okay, so those are the things that we wanted to add it. So what do we remove? We absolutely, if you walk away today, if you can start removing some of these or doing less of these, you will be amazed. Refined carbohydrates and added sugars. They are so inflammatory. I mean, I could have an entire thing just about sugar and carbohydrates. So I need you to please read labels. Eat more things that don't have labels. That means they are less processed. But there's over 60 words on labels for sugar. Things like that end in ose, O-S-E, like glucose. There's syrups like brown rice syrup, and then there's sugar, cane sugar, fructose. I mean, you really want to stay away from all these added sugars. A huge benefit to all of us would be removing gluten from our diet. Even if you feel, oh, well, my stomach's fine when I eat gluten, it goes way beyond that. That could be a whole other hour-long topic in and of itself. But if you can stay away from wheat, barley, and rye ingredients, and then things will flat out say wheat gluten containing. It's how they get a lot of fiber. That's how they get the doughy texture. But it is absolutely damaging our gut and it can be the cause and catalyst for autoimmune disorders, all kinds of stuff. So switching from non-organic dairy to organic dairy is sort of in line with the better. You know how we have good, better, best. Now switching to organic A2, if you've heard of A2, this is a type of dairy. It comes from a specific cow or breed of cow that produces this A2, and that's just talking about the beta casein protein. So milk has casein and it has whey, but A1 which is the A1 casein protein. Stay with me here. It is causing a lot of health problems for people, and they think they're lactose intolerant, but it actually ends up being that they are becoming extremely inflamed and having gastrointestinal problems and not able to lose weight. And it's all this A1 protein. So if you can switch to A2 dairy, or better yet, so good, better, best would be for the next 14 to 21 days, completely omit dairy, see how your body reacts. Do you love stepping on the scale because the weight is falling off? Does your stomach feel better? Do you lose your brain fog? Do you have more energy? Those are all signs of dairy intolerance, and your body will start to heal from that pretty quickly. Other things are corn and soy. They're very highly genetically modified, and they're sprayed with a ton of herbicides and pesticides. We were never meant to have this much in our diet, and now it's in everything because it's cheap and it's filler. And so that in and of itself is wreaking havoc on our health and our ability to lose weight. Hydrogenated and partially hydrogenated oils, these are the trans fats. They're one of the worst things you could absolutely put in your body. Veggie oils like soybean, corn, peanut, sunflower, even canola and cottonseed oils are actually higher in omega-6s, and it's causing this overabundance of omega-6. We're not getting enough omega-3s, and it's causing a ton of inflammation in our body. Whenever our body is inflamed, it doesn't care about losing stored fat. It's in crisis mode. Our cortisol levels stay high, and we store more belly fat around the middle. So we need to control that intake. Controlling stress, you'll notice on your PDF, there is mention of an adaptogen called ashwagandha that is incredibly beneficial for lowering our cortisol. Deep breathing, meditation practice. I like a 4-7-8 breathing pattern. Breathe in for 4, hold for 7 seconds. I won't do that right now, but if you guys will take this sheet and remember 4-7-8, breathe in for 4, hold for 7, and then slowly let out for 8, you will feel in those few seconds your physiology completely change. If you do that a few times a day, you will be amazed at how much more energy you have and how much calmer you feel. All right. So if you do not absolutely need an antibiotic, please try to sidestep taking one. Obviously refer to your doctor, but they are overprescribed and they just annihilate our gut health. Every single medication on the planet depletes our body of something. You cannot put a medicine in and not have it deplete some type of nutrient. Antibiotics are really terrible for our immune system because it depletes the body of zinc and B vitamins, K vitamins, magnesium, potassium, and it annihilates the good bacteria, all the things we need to be healthy and stave off disease. So now we're more susceptible to catching something else because we took an antibiotic. And then removing factory, industrial meats, farmed fish. We already talked about quality matters. All right, inflammation, we went into. The more inflamed your body is from sugar, gluten, wheat, corn, soy, all of that, it leads to higher cortisol, insulin resistance. So then you have trouble losing weight, you have belly fat storage, faster aging, muscle weakness, even back pain, fatigue, thyroid problems, hormone imbalance. All of that is related to what you are putting in here. So how does this apply in real life? Just this week, I had several clients come to me after I really focused on getting them to wean off dairy and gluten. I had this woman who she only lost 2 pounds cumulative in her first 3 weeks with me. And then all of a sudden she listened to me finally going into week 4, took out dairy. Guess what came off? 8 whole pounds. So now she has 10 pounds off her body, and the majority of it came off as soon as she removed the gluten and the dairy. So how do we take action here? We want to eat more whole food. We want to follow all the tips we've already discussed. We would love to lower our carb intake, increase our healthy fats, but keep our protein moderate, enough to support our muscles and our systems there. So I will I would like you to read what's on your screen, but we do need to go quickly. There is so much good information. I wish I had you guys for days and weeks and all of that. So here's a client that after 4 weeks, she came to me at 118 pounds. She's only lost 4 pounds, but look at all the inflammation that's come off of her belly. I mean, she just feels amazing. She's sleeping better. She has better cardio and endurance. And it's all started with just starting to heal her gut. Okay. So we need to wrap this up, but some other quick things to lower inflammation. If you're somebody that does Splenda, Sweet and Low, all those other artificial sweeteners, absolutely find alternatives like erythritol, stevia, monk fruit, because these sweeteners are attacking your joints and not doing you any favors. Also, Cancer Institutes will say those are one of the things you need to pull out as well. So we really want to focus on that. Stop drinking out of plastic water bottles. I really love glass bottled mineral water because we focus so much on filtered water, which is great. We're not getting some of the toxins, but when we take out the minerals and our soils deplete of minerals, where do we get our minerals from? We need all these trace minerals to be able to create enzymes and bodily processes. I mean, we are not healthy without the right balance of minerals. So I love mineral water. I love using sea salt. That actually helps with hydration. Don't attempt to do juice cleanses and other major detox methods without the help of a professional, because if your liver is not ready for it, your kidneys are not ready for it, if you're not doing it in a way that captures the toxins and assists your body, and if your body's not healthy enough for all of that to be flooded into your system, you can end up doing more damage. And some of it can actually be severe damage to your brain and joints and things like that. So please don't attempt crazy detoxes. Real quick. What I would love for you to do is, where did I go? Try not to eat more than 3 times a day. We do not need, there's no biological human reason that we need to eat 6, 7, 8 times a day and graze all day. That is not what our ancestors did. We sat down, we ate a well-rounded meal, we were satiated, and then we went hours without eating again, and we were active and we weren't focused on food. So try to keep your feeding window smaller. So, between 8 and 12 hours where you have your meals broken up in there, and then go bigger stretches without having to digest food. That way our body can use the enzymes and use all its other resources to help you detox, help you, squash inflammation, not have to deal with an abundance of insulin and glucose all the time. So the biggest thing, that's why I have asterisks right here on this last one, is to make sure that you shorten your feeding window and minimize the number of times you eat in a day. All right, we're not really going to have time, unfortunately, to go into sugar, but just know that we are consuming up to 3 pounds a week. That's 71 grams per day. And a normal blood sugar level is between 3 and 7 grams at any given time circulating in your system, so that if you need to have a burst of energy, like to go run and catch your kid before they get out in the street, or, whatever you need, it's 3 to 7 grams, not 71. So when our muscles are full, when our liver is full of glucose and we're tapped out on those containers, you keep putting in more sugar. Where can it go? So it ends up being stored as fat because insulin's called in to package it. So, a lot of this is repetitive. I managed to work that in, so hopefully that makes sense. But the more whole food that you can get, the better. I love this lady. She is 53, and now she has done amazing things in just 4 weeks. Her brain fog is gone. Her sleep has improved. She used to get up every single night, every couple of hours, and eat sugar and drink milk and go back to bed. And she was fluffy and depressed and all kinds of stuff. And now she is strong and having muscle tone at 53. So I love this. So bottom line, if you like the idea of really learning the science behind nutrition, if you want more of a structured plan and actionable items, and you want to build on the things that we have done today, I do have Good, Better, Best as a program. And you go to briannamichelle.com/GBB for Good, Better, Best. And it's going to be a 12-week program. It was 8. And then my last group, I got such great feedback that I want to extend it and make it 12, because as you can see, there's so much great information that it's hard to pack it into short time. So this is the concept of Good, Better, Best. It's how you take one meal, you make it good. You tweak it a little more, you make it better. And then there's the best option for those days where you are just on it. So if you would like more information about Good, Better, Best, I would love to answer your questions. If you'll join me over there, I can give you more information and we'll walk through kind of how that program is laid out. And then you'll get $50 off if you mention that you participated in this program and this viewing. So, and it is for guys and girls. So you can grab your hubby, grab your best friend, grab your brother, boyfriend. I don't care. I love when people know each other. It adds to this community experience. We'll have a community private Facebook page so that you get the support you need. So the takeaways: go do your wellness checker, eat more closely to its natural state, quality over quantity, omit the offenders, the corn, wheat, soy, hydrogenated oils, veggie oils. If you just start those things tomorrow, you will be amazed at all of a sudden, just it's like the clouds part and the fog goes away and you start to feel really good. And then you build momentum, you learn a little more, you tweak a little more, and all of a sudden you're in this happy, healthy, functioning body that you never knew was possible. I want to thank you very much for your time today. And please visit me on Facebook at Brianna Michelle or Instagram, the Brianna Michelle. And I would love to get your feedback and your questions.